We are literally living in a man-hating culture, and as a mother to a son, that makes my heart really sad. My son, watch me freaking.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You got
I need
this.
to stop
You got this.
But I would hope that my son could grow up and there could be males and females uplifting him.
When your own uploads won't stop chasing you, every old clip feels like a new trial. That's where Matt and Abby are right now. A 2023 birth vlog snippet is exploding again, and the internet is watching it like it's brand new. Why this one? The framing, the emotions, and the way some viewers say Matt's words landed, like the focus tilted toward him at the worst possible time. It taps straight into a bigger pattern fans and critics keep arguing about: raw honesty versus engineered outrage. Was it a candid moment, or just another perfectly placed spark?
There is information circulating about us that is completely untrue, so we just wanted to set the record straight, clear the air, because we take our role as parents extremely seriously.
TikTokers Matt Howard and Abby Howard are speaking out after coming under fire for leaving their toddlers in their cruise ship cabin.
Here's the twist. While that old clip ricochets around feeds, the couple's been talking about pulling back, documenting big moments, then waiting weeks before deciding what to share. It's a deliberate pivot from instant post to pause and think. Will it work when their brand was built on immediacy? We're unpacking how this single re-viral moment connects to the sleeping in the closet wave, the bottle versus breastfeeding tension people still debate, and the boundary they drew around keeping their kids' faces offline. No fluff, no dragged-out setup, just the story, fast.
TikTok's Matt and Abby Howard are facing criticism for leaving their 1- and 2-year-old sons alone in their room on a cruise. The Unplanned podcast co-hosts recently brought their sons Griffin and August on a family cruise, and the couple documented parts of their experience on social media.
First, the clip that wouldn't die. It starts sweet, then swerves. A sunny hospital room, a new baby, and Matt's line that resets the mood: recovery. Hit us like a train. 4 hours of broken sleep. Nurses in and out. Abby up and walking less than a day after surgery. Then the gut punch. It wasn't the physical pain, it was the emotional. He says he was juggling a healing wife and a newborn. She felt overlooked. That's the moment people keep pausing on. Not the tests, not the diapers, the framing. Viewers said the spotlight slid toward him when she'd just gone through major surgery. Some called it tone deaf. Others said it was an honest snapshot of how messy day one can be.
And then the comments start coming. You guys are going to get a divorce and you're already in this stressful environment. Like, how did you handle that?
Don't read the comments, honestly.
Yeah, we don't read the comments.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I know that is a common comment. Like, I can't wait for the divorce episode. Or I'm like, I know that there's a divorce episode coming. I'm like, wow, the confidence you feel.
2 readings, same clip, endless comments. What poured gasoline on it were their later reflections. On the podcast, they talked about clashing in those first 48 hours. Abby wanting to breastfeed, Matt pushing to use a bottle so the baby would eat right away. She said that felt like a betrayal of what she wanted. He admitted he was in a fog, fighting his own baby blues, frustrated that his big plans suddenly had to wait. That context didn't calm the crowd, it split it. Half heard nuance, half heard confirmation. The re-uploads stitched those pieces together. The hospital montage, the overlooked line, the feeding debate, and presented it like a case file.
We have not, would not, will not ever leave our children unattended. Our children sleep in these blackout tents every single night, whether or not we're traveling or if we're just home. And a feature of these tents is they have a spot for a sound machine and a spot for a monitor. And even if we are sleeping in the exact same room as our boys, we always turn their monitor on.
Comments claimed it fit a pattern. Dramatic open, fuller explanation later. Defenders countered that they were being raw, not calculating. Both sides are reading tea leaves. Neither has the whole picture, but perception travels faster than corrections. And that's why this clip keeps returning. It's not just a birth story, it's a Rorschach test for how people feel about their dynamic and about creators who narrate intimate moments in real time. The video ends with reassurance. You're not alone. the discourse doesn't. It looked like a harmless parenting hack on vacation, until it didn't. During a family cruise, Abby mentioned FaceTiming the kids from dinner while they slept in the cabin. Within hours, the story snowballed into a worst-case headline. Commenters filled in blanks the post never answered, and the narrative hardened fast.
In massive online drama news, let's talk about this Matt and Abby scandal. And they recently went on this family cruise, and on their Instagram stories, they noted it just wasn't going well, right? Especially trying to have a nice dinner. But it seemed like the kids were having trouble sitting through the meal, so they tried dropping them off at the cruise nursery center. But then, apparently the kids weren't having it, so they had to just go pick them up.
2 toddlers, a closed door, parents on another deck. Then the correction came. They said the kids were never alone, that a family member was always in the room, and that the FaceTime bit created the wrong impression. The original post vanished, the debate did not. Some viewers took the clarification at face value. Others said the damage was done. The first version lingered louder than the fix. Why did this ignite? Because it pressed every hot button at once. Safety, judgment, and the split-second way a social post becomes proof.
The couple, who upload under the joint account Matt and Abby, recently documented their time on a family cruise with their sons, 2-year-old Griffin and 1-year-old August. But they came under fire when Abby revealed in a since-expired Instagram story that they left their sons in their room while they went to dinner.
It also fed a growing theory among critics that the couple leads with a spicy setup, and context comes later. Whether you buy that or not, the fallout was real. More think pieces, more stitches, more people sure they'd seen the truth in a single screen grab. And it set a tone. After the cruise, audiences were primed to see drama first, nuance second, which is exactly why the next surprise hit even harder. It opens with a jolt. "I've been sleeping in our walk-in closet for a month." One line, and everyone's brain fills in the blanks. Marital blow-up? Silent treatment? A breakup soft launch? Then the explanation lands. Insomnia, trying not to wake Abby, guest mattress dragged across the floor. On paper, it's considerate.
And Abby shared how she and Matt went to dinner without their boys and used FaceTime to monitor them in the room. Abby said in a since-expired Instagram story per People magazine, "So we ended up taking them for 5 nights, and it became apparent that they weren't enjoying it, and therefore we weren't either."
Online, it read like a flare gun. Viewers said the phrasing felt engineered for maximum gasp before the context arrived. Critics argued this wasn't an accident, it was a pattern, led with the twist, clarify later, let the comments do the rest. Defenders pushed back. If you're sharing real life, sometimes the weird solution is the story. Another wrinkle, Abby has said she's barely on her phone. Fans see Matt as the main curator. That fueled the idea that he knew the hook would explode, especially paired with prior flashpoints. Again, that's audience interpretation, not proof. But perception outran nuance, as it tends to. The result? A single sentence became a referendum on intent. Was it caring husband energy or carefully packaged chaos? Either way, the algorithm loved it, and the "they're doing this on purpose" chorus got louder. And that's when the labels started to stick. Give a pattern a name and it spreads. For Matt and Abby, that name became rage bait. The recipe people describe is simple. Open with a line that spikes the pulse, hold the context for a beat, let reactions pour in. By the time the full explanation arrives, the hot take already won the race. Is that always fair? Not necessarily. Real life is messy, and messy moments don't come with tidy captions. But online, intent gets read through impact. When a birth vlog snippet centers emotion over recovery, when a cruise anecdote leaves room for the worst interpretation, when a closet sleep hook sounds like a breakup teaser, audiences connect the dots, even if some of those dots are guessed. There's also the amplification machine. Short clips get clipped again. Commentators stitch and add headlines.
Then, since apparently none of that was working, Abby posted that they were giving up on the nursery and they had a new strategy, writing, "We switched our dinner time to after their bedtime and FaceTime the monitors while we ate. Baby monitors don't work on board unless you're only like 10 feet away."
Each re-upload trims nuance, sharpens the edge, and makes "they did it on purpose" feel inevitable. Whether that's true or not, the label sticks because it explains how the content feels, not just what it says. Creators live in that tension. Hooks keep people from scrolling. Context keeps them from turning on you. Threading that needle is the job, and it's why one boundary they drew earned unexpected respect. But that wasn't the only line they drew. This time, the headline was restraint. Not shock, not a twist, a boundary. They decided their boys wouldn't be recognizable online. No faces, no easy IDs. The reason was simple and hard to argue with. Digital footprints last longer than trends. Autonomy belongs to the kids, not the camera. They admitted they showed their firstborn at the start. Then they hit pause. The more they learned, the less it felt right to keep doing it. Call it an overcorrection if you want. They called it protection. In their words, they chose this public life. Their children didn't. That lands differently than a spicy hook. It sounds like parents future-proofing, not creators feeding the feed. It also reframed their process. Document the big moments, sure. But sit on the footage, let emotions settle, decide what lives forever and what stays in the family drive. It's the opposite of the upload now, explain later cycle that keeps burning them. Fans noticed. Even some critics gave a nod. Because drawing a hard line for your kids suggests there are lines you won't cross for views. Does it erase the past? No. The internet archives everything. But a clear boundary can change momentum. It tells people what to expect going forward. Less immediacy, more intention.
That worked out much better for everyone. And immediately, people were outraged, saying, how could you leave your kids fully alone on a cruise ship? With others getting even more outraged because Matt had previously done a room tour that showed he and Abby had separate rooms right next to each other and one kid was in each room, meaning that it looks like the kids weren't even together when their parents left for dinner.
If they stick to it, the rage bait tag has less oxygen. If they slip, the blowback doubles. Respect is fragile online. Boundaries help. But old flashpoints don't vanish. They resurface, remix, and rewrite the story in real time. And a few of those flashbacks still pour fuel on the fire. The past doesn't stay past online. It cues itself up. Old clips, stray quotes, half-remembered podcast lines, they all come back wearing new captions. Commentary channels stitch a greatest hits reel. The hospital, overlooked line, the closet sleep opener, tense moments from Q&As. Each pass trims context, sharpens the edge, and makes the pattern feel inevitable. Viewers add their own lore. A tossed-off joke becomes evidence. A caption gets read as strategy. Rumors suggest certain posts were framed to spark debate. Supporters say that's just how life looks when you share it in real time. 2 takes, same footage. Re-uploads also remix chronology. Something said months apart gets cut together like it happened in the same hour. The story feels tighter. The intent feels clearer, at least on the surface. And once a label sticks, it sticks. Every resurfaced moment is scored like a sequel. See, there it is again. Even when the original context was clumsy, not calculated, the remix makes it look deliberate. That's the loop they're trapped in. Post, interpret, repackage, reignite. Breaking it takes more than a single clarification. It takes a different rhythm. Which brings us to the pivot they keep promising. Document now, publish later, and decide what never leaves the camera roll at all. Speed made them. Silence might save them. That's the bet. Instead of racing a clip to publish the same day, they've started talking about a slower cadence. Document everything, then let it breathe. Weeks, not minutes.
Then Matt and Abby posted a TikTok yesterday addressing all of this, with them saying that the kids were never actually alone and that they were actually on the cruise with all of Abby's extended family. And so with that, saying that someone was actually with the kids while they were sleeping.
Watch the dust settle. Decide what the world sees and what stays in the family vault. Why the pivot? Because those first hours after big life moments are a whirlwind. Emotions spike. Captions overreach. A single sentence can misframe a whole story. Waiting blunts the adrenaline and invites context. It swaps, "What did we just say?" for What do we actually want to share? There's a strategic upside too. A pause cuts down on the shock then clarify loop that keeps burning them. Fewer hair trigger posts, fewer stitches built on missing context, fewer chances for a spicy hook to drown out the point. Pair that with keeping the kids' faces offline, and you get a clearer boundary set. Some things are content, some things are not. Of course, it's a gamble. The algorithm rewards immediacy. Their audience learned to expect raw, real-time updates and the suspense that comes with them. Can a considered cut compete with a chaotic one? Maybe. If the story is still strong, the mystery is still there, and the takeaway feels earned, not engineered. In short, delay the post, sharpen the meaning. That's the promised rhythm. If they stick to it, the label that's haunted them loses air. If they don't, the next reviral moment writes itself. Which leaves one last question for the finale. Can you outgrow the very machine that built you? A single clip came back to life and reopened everything. The birth room framing, the cruise confusion, the closet line that lit up timelines. Each moment fed the same debate, candid misfires or engineered sparks. That's how the rage bait tag took hold. Impact first, context later. But there's a counterweight now. They drew a firm boundary around their kids, and they're saying yes to cameras but no to instant uploads. Record it, sit on it, then decide. It's not flashy, but it's a real strategy. Trade adrenaline for intention and let the meaning outpace the hook. Will it work? That depends on two crowds, the algorithm that rewards chaos and an audience that was trained to expect it. If restraint can still feel compelling, if the story survives without the jolt, the narrative shifts. If not, every old misstep will keep returning as Exhibit A. The internet doesn't forget, but creators do evolve. The next chapter isn't about outrunning old footage. It's about choosing what future footage even exists. In the end, the question isn't whether a clip will go viral, it's whether the choices behind it will hold up when the replay comes.